Hello everyone, my name is Shannon. I am a young adult librarian with Pikes Peak Library District, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the game that couldn't have come at a better time, specifically Animal Crossing. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Animal Crossing personality types and how you can use those personality types to create harmony on your island, but also get some other perks. So when Animal Crossing came out, I was determined to create the perfect island paradise. And that island paradise meant that there was going to be no fighting like I am with my sister because we're stuck in the same house, or anything like that. No shenanigans, no bad feelings at all. But it turns out you can't just invite villagers to your island and hope for the best. In fact, a lot of it has to do with your villagers' personality types. So when I first got Animal Crossing, it had been the first Animal Crossing game that I had gotten since New Leaf. And when I first got New Leaf, I was the type of person who played it for 3 weeks and then I never touched it again. Now that I am older, wiser, and I definitely like video games a lot more, I have put in many, many hours into Animal Crossing, and those hours have blossomed into a 5-star island, as well as the perfect villager layout for me. Now, when I say perfect villager layout for me, I mean personality-wise. My villagers haven't fought in weeks, and it is fantastic. When I first started the game, I opened it up, I was catching butterflies, and then all of a sudden I saw Nan stomping around in the background. Now, Nan is a normal goat personality in the game, and she is one of my favorite villagers on the entire island at this point. And so, me, being the person that I am, I run over to Nan and I want to see what's going on. Now let's see what happens. So spoiling a book on a librarian's island is a definite no-no. We don't spoil books on Elisol at all. Now this has happened several more times, but back when I first started this game, it was an absolutely, truly heinous act to spoil a book. And now Plucky doesn't live on my island. So what I'm going to talk about today are villager personalities and how they can affect the harmony on your island, and specifically how that factors in to your villager interactions. Now, if you're like my sister, you want all normal personalities. Normal personalities get along with normal personalities, and there's no fighting at all. I have a pretty decent mix of the personality types that I like. Currently, my island is sitting at 4 normal personalities with Meringue, Tia, Chev, and Gala. And 4 Pepy personalities with Bianca, Cherie, Cookie, and Audie. And my last 2 personalities are Julian, the Smug unicorn, and Eloise, the Snooty elephant. Now, these personalities seem to work really, really well on my island, and we're going to talk about the different things that factor into our personalities on our island, as well as what that can possibly mean for the overall harmony amongst your villagers. Now, in-game, there are 8 personalities that any of your villagers can fall into. With over 400 villager options, you will find the perfect villager for you, whether it is Raymond, the smug cat with heterochromia, or Audie, the peppy wolf that looks more like a fox than anything else. Now, with your villager types and those personality types, you're going to find certain things happening all the time. I have 4 normal villagers, so it is not uncommon that when I am talking to a villager, my normal ones are always going to say the same things to me. They're always going to be like, I'm always here to listen if you want to. Or if you're my peppy villagers, sometimes they like to tell me that in the morning when they can't wake up, they like to run around the room and scream really loud. All of these things are programmed into the villager personality types. And aside from their own species, whether that be wolf or elephant or rhino, you're going to see the same things happening over and over again. The other thing that's determined by personality types is the type of DIY recipes that you are going to get from each villager as they are crafting in their home. So while your smug personalities might be making that coveted ironwood chair, they're never going to be making the coconut planter. That coconut planter is always going to be made by a sisterly personality. So if you're looking to collect all of the DIY recipes known to man in the Animal Crossing game, then you kind of want to have one of each of your personalities, or at least have a friend who has one of every personality. So let's do a quick breakdown of the personalities. Now let's start with normal. Normal personalities are like Meringue or Chev, or any of the many, many, many normal personalities that are out there. Some of the most popular ones being Fauna and Maple and Pico. Normal personalities are characterized by the fact that they are seen as shy and they don't really want to open up. And in a lot of ways, they are your most basic personality on the island. They get along with just about everyone, but they can look at Snooty villagers and think that the Snooty villagers put a little bit too much time into their looks. Now, your Pepy personalities are like Audie or Cookie. Both of these villagers live on my island, and I love them to death. Audie being my absolute favorite. Now, Pepy villagers are characterized by always being out there, and they want to be pop stars. That's going to be the end all, be all, end goal of every single Pepy personality that you encounter, no matter what. Pepy personalities get along with Jock personalities and also your normal personalities. I had an interaction between Walker, a lazy dog, and Audie, my Pepy wolf, where Walker told Audie that he believed that talent was something that you were inherently born with. Now that upset Audie. That being said, lazy personalities don't necessarily mesh badly with our puppies. Snooty personalities are very fashion oriented, and they are pretty distinctive by the fact that they probably are wearing more makeup than any other villager you'll encounter in the game. That's not always the case. Look at Audie, she's a Pepy wolf and she's got yellow eyeshadow. Now, Pepy personalities and Snooty personalities don't necessarily get along. My only Snooty villager is Eloise. She is an yellow elephant, and she actually hasn't said anything mean to any of my villagers except for Julian, my smug unicorn. Now, what she said to Julian was that he had something on his shirt, which if you really think about it was really nice of her. Now, the very last female villager type that we're going to talk about is the sisterly or Uchi personality type. Now, sisterly personality types happen to be the least common in Animal Crossing, but also are the first of the two villagers that you are going to get in New Horizons. Sisterly villagers are noted in that they are very caring towards the player in the game, and they generally get along with your Pepy, lazy, Jock, normal personalities, but they don't get along with your cranky or snooty personalities. Now, sisterly villagers are also going to be the villagers who will give you the medicine or medicine recipe in the beginning of the game should you ever get stung by a wasp. For your male personalities, you have 4 of them, just like you had 4 female personalities. Your 4 male personalities are going to be lazy, Jock, Smug, and cranky. Now, the lazy personality is where you're going to find Walker and also Lucky. They're both dog villagers, but one looks like a mummy, and I think that's really cute. So lazy personalities are going to give you recipes that have been whispered to them by the bugs that live on their floors, and they're also the most analog with your normal personalities. They're very chill villagers, and they get along with just about everyone, but they may not totally understand your cranky or your snooty villagers. Snooty and cranky being the most difficult personalities in the game. Now, Jock personalities are going to be the other personality that you start off with in New Horizons. Jock personalities are characterized by their athletic nature in that every time you talk to them, they're probably going to mention their workout routine in some form or fashion. Now, Jock villagers include Antonio, Bam, and Kevin. Jock personalities also tend to get along with normal, lazy, Pepy, Smug, and sisterly villagers. The third male personality type that we're going to talk about is Smug. Now, Smug is not necessarily a word that you would associate with a villager that is polite or kind in any way, but that happens to be that type of personality. Smug personalities are going to be very gentlemanlike. They are also going to be polite and kind towards the player. My Smug villager, Julian, is a unicorn, though technically a horse, and he happens to have an entire astrological themed house. He also happens to give me some of the best recipes in the game, including several of the Ironwood recipes, which are highly coveted throughout the Animal Crossing universe. Smug personalities will get along with your Pepy villagers and your normals, and they won't really run into any problems. However, they do sometimes get into arguments with lazy villagers, as has happened with mine in the past. The last personality is cranky villagers. Now, cranky villagers are irritated and annoyed very easily by the rest of the villagers living on your island, which probably makes them the most difficult when it comes to maintaining island harmony. That said, the more you befriend them, the more protective that they are going to be of the player in the game. They also sometimes will realize that they've done something wrong. My one cranky villager for a while was Fang, the wolf. Fang once upset Plucky, and as a result, he ended up giving a gift because he was like, I know I'm old-fashioned, but I can see where I did something wrong, and so would you mind delivering this gift? So all of these personalities put together are going to mesh with your island harmony in a lot of ways. Now, this island harmony is going to be affected in some ways, like your villagers are going to fight, like what happened with Nan and Plucky, or they're going to get along really, really well. My normal personalities have a tendency to talk to each other, and then at the end of the conversation, they walk away, and you see the little glee music notes floating around their head. Now, personality-wise, you can strive for being able to get all of your DIY recipes, or you can look for something that's a little bit more cohesive in terms of your personalities not fighting. Like I said earlier, I have 4 normals, 4 Peppies, a Smug, and a Snooty. And this seems to work out really, really well. And while there's a lot of overlap in the DIY recipes that I get in the game, at the end of the day, I really like what I have. My villagers still argue, but they give each other gifts, and then it turns into a new outfit or something like that for one of my villagers. That's it for personalities. Thank you for joining me. My name is Shannon. I work with Pikes Peak Library District East Library, and this has been Teen Gaming.